This is Prickly Pear Peggy's So Busy Mercantile, and today I'm going to be making a set of rod pocket curtains. Before I do any cutting, I make up a cut sheet depending on what the finished width of the curtain is. I need to know the finished width, the finished length, and the rod diameter. So right now I'm going to work on the rod pocket. But what I have to do is figure out how much fabric to cut off of the roll and how long it'll be. So I'm allowing 6.5 inches for the rod pocket. That means 6.5 inches. When it's doubled over, it's only going to be 3.5 inches. The half inch is for the hem, and that'll be for the rod to go through. So we got rod pocket allowance 6.5 inches. We're going to hem it 2 inches, a 2-inch hem. There is an inch hem on each side of the curtain, and I've already did the inch hem. I turned it over a half inch and over a half inch again and sewed it. So how much fabric do I cut and how long do I cut it? The finished length needs to be 23.5. So I take 23.5 and I add the rod pocket allowance, which is 6.5, and I add the 2-inch hem. That brings me to 32 inches. So I would need to cut this 32 inches off the bolt depending on how the straps are going to run. So that's the length. Now the width, finished width, is 41 inches. So down here I got 41 inches finished width. Then I got 1 inch hem on both sides, so that's 2 inches. So that's 43 inches width that I cut the width, and I cut 2 panels. So now that the fabric is cut, and because this is a woven textile, it does ravel. So what I do is take it to the serger and I serge around every edge to keep it from raveling while I'm working with it. Then I sew the side seams and get that out of the way. Now it's time to do the rod pocket. So I allowed 6.5 inches, so I need to turn this under for 3 inches, 3.5 inches, because I'm going to have a half inch turned under, and pin it and sew it. And after I sew it, it'll look like this. Doing this one-handed, holding the phone with one hand. So here is the rod pocket allowance. The side hem is hemmed. So I'm ready to put it on the rod so I can measure down the 23.5 inches to turn up the hem. And these will be ready to go. I'm going to do the rod pocket on this one, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, now I've brought you back. I've got the curtain on the rod, and what I've done is I measured from the top of the rod down 23.5 inches, and I marked it with some chalk. I did that on each end and all the way across in various areas, because these are 2 panels, so I want to make sure I get both the panels marked properly. Just a little bit about the gathering. Because this textile is thick, I only allowed twice the width needed for gathers. If you have thinner material, you might want to allow 3 times the width for gathering. But now all I have to do is hem it, and these simple little curtains will be done. Thanks for watching. This is Prickly Pear Peggy's Sew Busy Mercantile, signing off.